Hey guys, it's Scott, and I have another backing video I can show you guys here. This is going to be a really tight lane backing situation in Irvine, California. All right, but on another note, I do want to talk about my drone. As you know, that I have a drone, Phantom 3. I do have some past video footage involving it, but it's been down for the count for a while. Well, for one, I think I was having range problems with it. I had a few things wrong with it, like the antenna on my remote was broken, and had a couple other issues with the drone itself. I sent it into DJI for repair. Man, they were extremely fast. I sent it what day was it? Last Tuesday. And by Thursday morning, I was already getting an email from them saying that they'd already received it and inspected it and told me whatever everything was wrong with it, and gave me an invoice on what it would cost to repair it. That was how quickly it was. Now, mind you, I live in California, and that's where I sent it from. DJI is in Florida, so my drone got sent all the way to Florida, and then within a day and a half, made it all the way there and got inspected and assessed and all that. Got it repaired, and actually just got it back yesterday. And it was just last Tuesday that I got it back, which I mean that I sent it off. Not even just barely over a week ago. Today's Wednesday the 19th. So I'm very happy with the service I got from them overall. I had bought the drone from a friend of mine. They're actually a friend and actually someone I trained when I was in the Walmart fleet. So I knew it wasn't going to be a warranty repair. Not to mention, took a few dings from just kind of playing around with it, running it into basically the plant garden thing in our backyard, and then also playing with it in the house one time, just seeing what would happen. Yeah, don't do that. Found out the hard way because it couldn't get a GPS fix. It just, as soon as it lifted off, it basically flew straight into my computer desk, which wasn't standing to, which I was sitting pretty close to when I was doing it. So, oops, yeah, a bit of a costly lesson learned there, but yeah, so be it. Good news is I have the drone back and it should be good to go. However, I can't find my battery pack, so I have no way to recharge the battery on it. And I was really looking forward to getting that thing back out on the road with me when I go back, go pick my next load up this evening. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a rain check on that. Maybe either hopefully my wife will be able to track down what happened to the pack while I was out on the road, or maybe you have to order a new pack for it. But point is, drone footage will be coming before too much longer, I hope, and yeah, and I know that'll help some of you guys more with some of this footage. And I know it's always well-liked way to look at it as well. All right, that's all I have. Let's go ahead and move on to I'm going to show you the Google Maps view of it, of the area I was at, give you an idea of what we're dealing with from the overhead look. Both the map view and the satellite view, and then I'll go ahead and go to the Dashcam view and show you what it looked like from that end. Okay. Okay, this is going to be the Google Map view here first. I'm going to show you. This is in Irvine, California. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, which hopefully a lot of you guys are, but uh, just in case you're not, Irvine is in Orange County, which is just south of LA County. You see here, LA is right here. To get to Irvine, from LA, you just go straight down I-5 over here to Highway 55 in the Santa Ana area, and just south from there a little bit. Now, I made this delivery from my house. I picked it up in Lexington, Nebraska, and then basically did my last 10-hour break at my house before I delivered. Their touch screen's not helping me enough. Yeah, I got off here at the Dyer Road exit. That's Cloverleaf off-ramp, and then headed east on Dyer. Dyer turns into Bronco Parkway, and then once you get over here to where the movie theater is, right in the same street, the same entrance to where the movie theater and the restaurants and Lowe's and all that kind of stuff were at, I make a right instead. And right here where the Starred place is where this Newport Pride Meat Company is, where I delivered to. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and then show you a couple of things here. First, I want to show you this right turn here because this is something that new drivers always do. And I understand why too. It's because in CDO schools, a lot of times they teach you to always stay as close to the curb as possible. Um, yeah, it's good information. It's I mean, because you don't want to give cars an opportunity to squeeze in between you and the curb and then get trapped there and run into them. But at the same time, you don't want to be hitting curbs or light posts or fire hydrants or people standing at the corner. Or in this case, there's also an island right here. This is a one-lane street that I'm turning onto. This is basically two lanes, two through lanes, a bike lane, and then a left turn lane here. So now remember, when you're making a turn, you gotta have if your turn radius is determined by how far your distance is between your kingpin and your trailer axles. Now, if your tandems are at the 40-foot mark for California, which mine were, then you need 40 feet of space to work with. If your tandems are all the way back to the back of the trailer, that's going to be around 47 feet if you're pulling a 53-foot trailer. Because the kingpin to the front of the trailer is 3 feet away, so it's 50 feet left, and then there's about a 3-foot gap between the rear axle and the ICC bar when it's like that. So you got to keep this in mind and know how to count up how much where the feet are coming from. In this situation here, now this is a major road here, so the lanes are 12 feet wide, but there are other roads where the lanes are only 10 feet wide. And the bike lane here, I would estimate, is probably around 8 feet if I had to guess. I don't know the dimension of a bike lane, but I would, just looking at it in relation to the lane I was using to turn, it's probably 8 feet. So that's 20 feet there. I need 20 more feet. Does this look like 20 feet to you? Nope, doesn't look like it to me. It looks like it's not too far off, but it's not 20 feet. I'll give you that much. So what I normally do is I would either do a J-hook kind of turn, basically kick my tractor over here into the other lane first and then make my turn, or you can straddle both lanes here, by putting the line there right underneath the center of your truck and then make the turn. Now, the J-hook's probably going to be a little bit safer option in some cases, and then the straddle of the lanes might be a safer option in other situations. Depends on what kind of traffic's behind you and what they're doing. If you don't have you want to make sure the traffic that's in the next lane over doesn't try to pass you while you need their space. Go ahead and straddle both lanes. But if I don't have traffic in the next lane over, I might be a little bit more apt to J-hook it instead. All right, so that's good enough explanation for that turn. Now, coming down here, make the first right, come to the end of the road. Third driveway down is where I'm going to be docking in at, right here on the north side of this building. This entire white building here is Newport Meat Company, but I'm going to dock in over here, actually right where you see that truck right now. It is a tight turn to get into the driveway as well, and I did have cars parked over here. Now remember, I need 40 feet of space to make the turn. I needed this lane to make the turn with. Now, if these cars weren't there, this would have been even easier, but I was still able to get in there without hitting anything, so not a problem. But anyway, the video is going to pick up where you're going to see me sitting right here in front of the gate. I had just finished opening my trailer doors and removing my lock and all that kind of crap, and you'll see a National Carriers truck right here in front of me. He's docked in right where you see this drop trailer. And now I'm going to be docking in right here. And what I have to work with is this tight setup lane right here. Now normally this region here, this would be enough space in most situations to set up just fine. But because I don't have what I call vertical space to work with here, I don't have a normal amount of space going basically up and down from the lane. This is what I call the vertical space. The less of that I have available, the more I need going that direction, or as I call it, horizontal space. And then the more I have available here, the less of this I need. I always want to try to use as much of the vertical as I can before in order to set up my backing, because the more I can get my trailer pointed straight toward the back of my door, the easier it's going to be. But in this situation, I was far from that as far as what options I had. So anyway, that gives you a pretty good idea where exactly I'm backing in at. Now let's get to where the actual video is and show you what that looks like. Come back to the beginning. Okay, so here you go. You see the National Carrier's truck really straight in front of me. His steer tires are actually right in front of the center of my truck. And you're going to see me maneuver around him. And by maneuvering around him, I have to force my tandems to get further away from my hole than I really want them to. But hey, that's the way it works here. I was still able to get on the spot, without too much difficulty, as you're going to see in a minute here. Now and when you do see me turning left, I have my head sticking out the window, actually watching the other truck and my tandems to make sure I wasn't going to hit him. So, yeah, and I was pretty close to him, but I wasn't in any danger of hitting him, but I had to watch him. So, if you're wondering, you might wonder why I didn't bring my tractor further over this way to get my tandems further over to set up closer to the door. Now, the reason why is because I didn't have the room to work with. I had to maneuver around the National Carrier's truck first. Okay, so I'm waiting. My tandems are still getting around National Carriers. Now I'm coming up over here. I'm going to angle out as much as I can, as much as these pallets here will let me, and same with the scissor lift, and then maneuver back the other way to create off track. Now, by creating the off track, now I can steer straight back with the steer straight back and let the trailer do all the work for me. I don't need to help it. Now, I know I'm going to need more than one pull-up on this, or at least one pull-up, because I just did not have enough offset from the tractor and the trailer to work with in the first place. And then, all right, so the trailer ended up, by the time it got pointed straight down toward the door, it was almost one full spot over to the blind side or to the right of where it needed to be. So now here's one of the good things about this with the setup correction. Yeah, and then also letting the trailer do its own work. I'm letting the trailer get in there as much as I can, but I also want to make sure that I'm not in a position to hit something while I'm at it. So where I'm at right now, there's no danger of hitting anything, at least as far as the trailer is concerned. But if I'm trying to do this kind of maneuver while I'm in between a couple of other trucks, then that can be a problem. So you might want to consider that. Now, do this. Might not want to do this first 3-point kind of maneuver you're going to see here in a second when your trailer is still between a couple of other trucks or trailers. But when you're still trying to get set up to get to the hole so you can get it in there, this is a great way to correct it. Okay, this is great fundamental. You're going to find it very useful for yourself if you get this down. Okay, it's going to be a hard left forward, and then a hard right forward, and then a hard left forward. Now this hard left forward, the first move here. Now remember the trailer was already tracking more and more toward a jackknife position. So that means when I'm making a hard left forward, the tandems are not going to roll out of the spot. They're going to be less. They're going to be more resistant to coming away from the door and out toward the middle of the lane, which is exactly what I do this for. The right turn here, because I'm making that left turn, I'm taking away some of the angle that the trailer has to work with. So I put the right turn in to give the angle back, and then the left turn here at the end is to get the tractor to create some off track or a little bit more articulation from the trailer, as I call it. The heavier the articulation is, the heavier the trailer will rotate, and the less it'll roll. So that's basically how the design of that is. Now I'm just going straight back. I did put a little bit of right turn in because I'm steering straight at first because I couldn't see where the end of the 4x4s are over here. Once I saw the end of the 4x4s, these are pallets, but there's 4x4s on the other side of them. Once I knew where I was at in relation to them, then I went ahead and used some of that space. Now, knowing I'm going to have to do another pull-up, that's not a problem. Okay, so again, I'm going to do another 3-point serpentine maneuver from here, okay? Same thing, hard left forward, hard right forward, hard left forward. Use what space I can here. Go back to the right to put the angle back in the trailer. If that scissor lift wasn't there, I would have used even more of that space, but use what space you have to work with. So again, straight back again, put a little bit of right turn in only because again, I knew I was going to be tight, and I wanted to try to get my tractor at least toward the back end, or toward the far end of the lane, closer to the fence. But this one actually ended up working out very well because the trailer ended up tracking perfectly into the door. Now, the problem I have here is the tractor I can't get lined up. At this point, I don't want to go any further because my drive tires are already starting to overshoot where my tandems are as far as the relationship to the center of the dock doors lane is concerned. My tandems are already pretty much centered in the lane now. You can't see it here, but they are. Now, once my drive tires are starting to overshoot, then that's where I change up and I start doing forward corrections to try to square up the tractor with the trailer. I don't want to try. This is something that new drivers always do. Is they always try to force themselves, or basically force the tractor to square up with the trailer by continuing to go backward. But when they do that, the trailer starts angling further and further away from the back of their door, and it starts going more toward the back of the trailer goes more toward the guy on the left of you, and the front of the trailer starts going more toward the guy on the right of you. Both situations are not good. You will hit somebody if you do that. All right, so be careful about that. If you're an inexperienced driver or not in the industry yet, or wanting to get into it and want to learn backing, because that's what a lot of my viewers are, is people wanting to learn backing or perfect their backing skills. But anyway, one of the other fundamentals I have here is once my tandems are centered in the spot, I'm not going to do maneuvers that are going to take them away from the center of the spot. So don't move more forward and don't correct forward more than you really have to accomplish what you need. Once your tandems are already centered, keep them there. If you drag them off center from the spot again, you're going to create more setup problems. In all likelihood. Maybe there are some situations where taking them off centered it's okay, but when you're trying to get in between a couple of trucks and your tandems are already there in the center of the spot, you want to keep them there. Don't get them where you jam yourself up and put yourself at risk of hitting somebody, okay? So now at this point, you're going to see what I call a two-point serpentine maneuver. I do this same exact maneuver, but actually variations of it, and I'll explain this here in a second. The first part of it is for if my trailer is tracking too much toward the side and I need to get my trailer into the center of my spot. Okay, there's one two-point serpentine maneuver I do, which is basically a hard left and a hard right. And there's another serpentine maneuver I do. It's also a hard left and hard right, but it's slightly varied from what I just mentioned here and what you're going to see here. That's the focus of it is specifically for lining my tractor up with my trailer. Now this one here, this is the ladder of that, where I'm just trying to square up the tractor with the trailer. I need to get rid of the offset that exists between the tractor and the trailer. So you saw there, I did a hard left and a hard right. Now I'm going hard left, or what left the space allows me to use. Now the more I get the tractor pointing directly at the fence, the more I can steer hard left. But as you saw there, right at the end there, I steered straight before I started going forward. Why is that? Because I don't want to be steering left backward and then steering left forward. Because then if I do that, I'm just completely negating what I just did backward. And I don't want to use wasted effort steering left and know that I'm going to have to do the exact same thing going forward. That did me no good at all. So I steered straight coming backward before I stopped, so I can give myself a different setup on the next pull-up. Okay, same thing here. Hard left and then a hard right serpentine. Now, the whole time I'm doing this, my tandems are staying generally in the same area. They are moving a little bit off-center to here and there, but not by much. They're staying generally right in the center of the lane. So now I have the room to work with to get my tractor to completely clear the fence there. And as it turned out, I was able to just follow the trailer right back into the hole. And I did stop there to, I think, double-check my position. I made a couple little adjustments there, but that's all it was there for it. All right, so as you saw, the video didn't take that long. The backing itself didn't take incredibly long. It still took me more than 4 minutes to do it, but you saw good fundamentals. wasn't overly difficult to accomplish. It's just the fundamentals are the big part of it, though, and also having your good setups as well. I said I couldn't get a good setup out of that one, so I didn't have a good option but to do pull-ups. So yeah, good correction fundamentals, and they'll make a huge difference for you if you follow these. Okay. So to rehash this, if you want to do, if your trailer tracks too much toward the blind side on your when you're doing a normal side kind of backing, remember the 3-point serpentine that you saw here. I did it 2 or 3 times in this video here, as you saw. Just watch what my tractor did. That'll give you an idea what you're looking for. Don't get too fixated on watching the trailer, but you do want to be aware of what your trailer is doing if you have other obstacles nearby you, like another truck on the other side of you, or on either side of you. Okay. So if you're set up too much to the blind side, 3-point serpentine, left, right, left. That's that's a forward maneuver to correct it. And then if you're set up too much toward the side, it's a 2-point serpentine. It's also a left and then a right. But then stop your right turn once you're parallel with the lane, with your setup lane. And then once you've done that, just go straight back and watch what your trailer does. You'll probably see it track more nicely right toward the hole. Also, when you're backing into a hole, or as I always remind people, don't dive your trailer right into the gap that exists between a couple of trucks. All right. Aim your trailer toward a spot that's out in front of them, maybe about 10 feet or so, and then let it rotate around that spot there, because that's how you can get in there with minimal risk of hitting the guys on either side of you. Okay, and then lastly, you can use that same 2-point type serpentine maneuver to help get your tractor to square up with your trailer. Now, don't worry if you have to do extra pull-ups. If you only have a limited amount of space to do a serpentine correction, so what? It'll leave your tandems where you need them to be, and you'll give yourself an increasingly easier setup every time you do it, and it also puts you in a position to be in increasingly less danger of hitting somebody nearby. Okay. So that's all I have for now, and hopefully in the near future I'll get my drone out on the road with me and be able to get some actual backing videos from the drone, or that I can include in these, and help you out with some more views there. All right, that's all I have for now. Please don't hesitate to add any comments or questions, whatever, or any feedback. Whatever else you'd like to see covered in future videos. All right, that's all I have for now. Thanks.